As a financial professional, a former tax lawyer, guest lecturer, speaker, and mother of three, as I said in my last video, I've been thinking a lot about investments and taxes and philanthropy. And I wanted to continue where I left off talking about AMT because I ran into someone who said, I appreciated your video, but I'm waiting for the next one where you address how to calculate AMT. What is the mechanic of it? And so while my first video addressed the overview, what AMT achieves and what changes, generally speaking, were proposed and the impact of those changes, next I want to just clarify or go through, for those who are interested, how tax is calculated, very high level, then how AMT is calculated, and what the 2023 budget proposed in terms of changes to that AMT calculation that will apply as of January 1st, 2024. So how is tax calculated? Just overall. When we calculate how much tax we're going to owe the government, we start with the amount of income we earn. Then there's certain amounts we're allowed to deduct expenses that lower the amount of income that then will be considered for tax purposes. So that allows us to arrive at our taxable income. And then our taxable income is the amount to which we apply the tax rates to arrive at our tax payable. There's one other amount that we can use to reduce our taxes payable, and those are credits. And so those apply at the bottom of the calculation once the tax has already been calculated. Now, if we go into the AMT calculation, generally speaking, AMT changes the amount of income that gets included. It changes the amount of deductions that we're allowed to take to lower that income to arrive at our taxable income. And it can change, it changes the tax rate. It's typically a lower tax rate. And it changes the amount of credits that we can apply to our taxes payable to arrive at our actual tax liability. And as we know, the higher of the taxes payable under your AMT calculation or your normal calculation is the tax that will be due. So, what are some of the changes that were proposed in the 2023 budget that we should be aware of that will affect this AMT calculation? Now, as I said, the income inclusion line is changed. So 100% of capital gains get included in your AMT calculation. Many of us know that in general, only 50% of capital gains get included. It used to be 80% under AMT, and now it will be 100. Another interesting one that I just glossed over in my last video has to do with the donation of marketable securities, which many of us know is a very advantageous way to donate, to make donations. Now, if you are someone who might be subject to AMT, 30% of the capital gain on those marketable securities will be included in your AMT calculation. So it won't be zero, the way that it is according to the traditional tax calculation, and even the way it was according to AMT prior to these changes. Now it's 30%. So the donation of marketable securities, if you're at risk of AMT applying, can be less advantageous. When it comes to deductions, those will also change. So only 50% of certain deductions will apply to lower that initial amount of income to arrive at your taxable income. The tax rate, instead of being 15%, which may be or was proposed to be changed to increase to 20.5%. So that is a higher tax rate being applied to your taxable income. And certain credits, once you arrive at your tax payable, then you can apply credits. Certain credits have also been disallowed or proposed to be changed, including donation credits, which really changes the landscape of the AMT calculation. Another important change is that, and this is quite positive, it used to be that there was an exemption of $40,000. So if you earned $40,000 or less, AMT would not apply. That amount has been increased to the fourth tax bracket, or an estimated $173,000. So AMT will not apply to people who make less than $173,000, which means that it will not catch certain people that it did before. It really will be only subject to affecting higher income earning individuals. So those are some of the key changes. As I said in my last video, the biggest fear is that the changes to these AMT rules may result in a lower overall amount of donations being made in Canada. That would be an unfortunate impact. Otherwise, we can understand what they were trying to achieve by these changes, and hopefully even better now that you know exactly how AMT is calculated and how some of the items in that calculation have proposed to be changed. Please, as usual, do not hesitate to let me know if you have questions, comments. Have a great day.